Namaste, namaste, everybody. It's Yoga Matt. Welcome to Nature's Nightly News. I'm standing in for Nature tonight, and now we're going to talk about the police, and we're going to talk about police brutality, and we're going to talk about police accountability, and we're going to talk about spiritually bypassing white privilege, and whitewashing. We're talking about a lot of white stuff because I'm a white person, and I should talk about people talking about white issues. You know, black people talk about black issues. I talk about white issues in relationship to black issues because I'm a white person that wants to have a good relationship with the black people, and there's plenty of black people that don't have a good relationship with the whites. There's a lot of gray area there, and if you go into my ancestry, you might find some people of color, some indigenous people in there. You know, my mom says I'm 115th Cherokee or something like that. The reason I'm wearing these glasses is so I can appeal to my police officers out there. And this, I need what police officers need to fucking do? They need to do some fucking yoga. That would be so nice if every police officer in America had to do some mindfulness practice and some meditation and some freaking yoga so you can be aware of your psychic sensibilities, so you can look at somebody and you can be like, hey, that's not a gun. Hey, that's a toy gun. Hey, that person's unarmed. Hey, this person's already in handcuffs. Maybe I shouldn't be fucking kneeling on their fucking neck like an idiot. I do a lot of yoga, and so I don't get too angry. I'm a little angry right now because I'm tired of this. It's been going on for too long, 400 years of slavery and oppression and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't even want to be reporting about it, much less talking about it. If we just made all the police do yoga, we wouldn't have to have these stupid conversations, and we wouldn't have to have police reform, and we wouldn't have to have police accountability because the police would be accountable and responsible for their freaking selves. You know what I'm saying? And come back to the breath. Get inside the heart. And I say this all with love. This is tough love. And sometimes, we got to express some tough love to the people that we love, because I think police, ultimately, there's a lot of good police out there that want to actually protect and serve. But there is, this disease inside the police system that's called systemic fucking racism, So there's all this racial profiling of not just all people of color, and they're not really protecting and serving, people, and they're putting the wrong people in jail. We got a justice system that loves to, put away lots of people of color. Watch the 13th Amendment, and then you got white collar criminals that get off with do nothing, or they get to go to the nice prison or whatever, even though they're trashing the economy of the United States and trashing our democracy and stuff. There's people committing like really high crimes in our government, i.e., this administration, this poor sorry excuse for an administration. I'd like to say I could present a fair and balanced picture of this administration, of the T-Rex, of the Agent Orange, of Poop Face, as I fondly like to call him, because his face looks like a big pile of orange poop, and his hair looks like some, wave of cotton candy that nobody wants to eat, like an ancient cotton candy that has been sitting there and rotting for like 1,000 years. And his body looks like fucking Jabba the Hutt. But supposedly, he's a healthy man, and he's a good man, and he's saving kids. Yeah, right. Well, anyway, he is like, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the racism of this administration. Let's talk about Stephen Miller separating parents from their kids at the border and instigating xenophobic policies against Muslims and xenophobic policies against immigrants and ICE people raping people. Let's talk about that for a second, huh? Because that's a really fun topic, talking about ICE. Like, if we can't really abolish the police, but maybe we can abolish ICE. That would be something good we can do for the country. And let's talk about, how Trump has basically been a, a light racist, I guess, for most of his career. Really wanted the Central Park Five to go to jail, potentially get the death penalty, and the Central Park Five, remember, got off. They were not accused. And then, they wouldn't let black people rent their buildings in New York. They might pander a little bit to the people of color in the black community, but overall, people of color and the black community and the African American community does not support this administration, and hopefully will vote against this. We're sorry, Ben Carson. We're sorry, Candace Owens, that you got to be the token people of color for the administration to somehow show that there is an illusion of inequality, and there is an illusion of oppression, and there is an illusion of slavery, and all this stuff. But basically, the system was designed and set up to keep people of color down. And people like me, we're not gonna allow that anymore, because you can't just spiritually bypass everything that's going on. Your spiritual practice is facing these issues head on, is what we're doing. And we're going to talk about him every day. We're going to talk about him on the show on Wednesday night with Richard Roundtree. That'll probably be somebody else talking to him, but it's from 7 to 9 Wednesday night, Be Well Festival. We're going to talk about white privilege. We're going to talk about whitewashing. We're going to talk about white power and white supremacy. And we're going to talk about Antifa a little bit. We're going to talk about how super racist this administration is. We're going to go deeper into that. Because this is all important things that happen. The coolest thing that happened this week was the mayor of Washington, D.C. Painted Black Lives Matter Boulevard on the street leading to the White House.